33. Experiments. Message. Manipulation of nature, forcing change, cruelty in the pursuit of knowledge, arrogance. The Mermaids' song. We are concerned. We are concerned that we are seeing the errors of pride, hubris, arrogance, all repeating themselves in this time. We are concerned that the terrible experiments that occurred in Atlantis, where Lemurians were modified against their will, are being repeated. We are concerned. We see you taking the cells of one form and attaching them to another, stitching life forms without choice to each other, and breeding forms you think will be useful, introducing species into environments, mutating and twisting, and ultimately hurting creatures and yourselves and this planet. Power and enslavement are these experiments on animals, on sea creatures who are hunted, on people to change their shape, to look as though they do not age, to enlarge a part of the body and to carve away another. What is it you are doing? Why? We call on you now to understand your own beauty and the perfection of all that is in nature. Stop the cruelty. Ask yourselves, look around, empathize. Or will you do it all again? Will you change the very nature of the world because you thought your arrogant quest was noble? Our tears fall unnoticed into an ocean, and you continue. But not you who receives this card. You have spoken up, and we know you will, just by self-love, kindness to animals and sea creatures, and activism. Bring about change through your compassionate actions. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Divination meaning. Looking into genetically modified food, cosmetics, products, and food sources developed with genetic manipulation and experimentation. All experiments are not bad, and many can be cruel. When humans use other creatures for their own selfish purposes, they lose the very part of themselves that is most beautiful and noble. Many claim ignorance or have been persuaded that experimenting on animals is necessary for human health and well-being. You are now awakening and seeing the connections between all life forms. You are awakening to the wrongness of seeking to understand something by taking it apart, and most often without consent, separating families, tribes, colonies of creatures for purposes that are selfish and cruel. This took place in Atlantis, and the mermaids witnessed this, with the creatures of Lemuria and the animals who were often torn apart on tables as if they were unable to feel. We need to step in, all of us, and change it. It is happening again. That's why we're talking to you now. Reversed meanings. Believing that experiments on animals and cosmetic surgery, genetic manipulation, and refusing to age are all good things and acceptable things. Cruel choices with no thought to how they take place. Not understanding that luxury can come about due to the power excess and enslavement of other beings, including the elementals, the merfolk, the oceans, the sea creatures, the animals in labs, the people who have lost their sense of rightness in the world. Have you forgotten who you are? Are you concerned with what is not important? Have you forgotten kindness? Think for a moment of the overfished seas, the pain of the whales as they are hunted, the pollution pouring into the ocean, the fishing lines wrapping around the dolphin's torso, the net pulling down the shark, the plastic bag choking the turtle, the kelp beds destroyed, and the dugongs crying out, so hungry. This is due to our arrogance and our belief that we have infinite time, and as humans, we can solve anything through more of the same that caused the problem. Say no to experimenting on animals, on yourself, and believe us, you too are one of the animals. Come back to holistic and ethical medicine. Be whole and centered in your nature. Know you are worthwhile. Let no one rob you of your natural dignity and convince you that you must change.